What's the problem? The streaming
No, it's
software?
all right. It should be fine. We should. Yeah, we are live, I guess.
Cool. Shall we roll their intro?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Can you
Yeah,
see
it's
my?
live. It's live. All right. So we are live. It's a quick art talk, motherfuckers.
Quick
Hello.
art talk time, motherfuckers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Today we are
Is it?
so
Can you
happy
hear me?
and pleased to have Andrea Chiampo. Hey, man.
Hey, man.
Hey,
You.
it's been a while. We just wanted to have you on board since Andrea Chiampo is a great, talented concept artist and a good friend of mine as well. We've met like a couple years ago, and since then we still are in touch, and we are happy that
Thanks, man.
Andrea was
And thanks for inviting me, actually.
absolutely, man. There's so good that we can have the people who are
I kind of,
yeah
I lost you.
really
He lost us.
holy shit. Hello, hello.
Wait.
Okay, let's see. Can you guys hear us? Please just give us an info since we are a little bit
Some feedback, guys. Some feedback.
unorganized today.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, something went wrong, and I was not able to hear you.
That's fine. Right.
Yeah.
Let me just plug in and like post the info that we're live.
Yeah.
In the meantime, of course, maybe just we will give you a word so you could just introduce yourself in a proper way. We can see your beautiful face right now, so
thanks.
keep smiling and tell us about yourself.
Did you sculpt it yourself?
Sorry? If I did cut myself?
Yeah.
No,
Sorry, lame joke. Lame joke.
Yeah. I will be like an alien, super ugly, and no sense shapes.
Yeah,
No, by
imagine
the way,
if we'll be able to sculpt
um,
our own faces. Just like go into Zbrush, sculpt it, and just like import it to the real world. Maybe an idea for the future. I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a freelance concept designer. I'm based in Italy,
Cool.
and my surname actually is Chiampo. So it
Oh,
sounds
sorry.
weird.
I'm sorry.
No. That's fine, but it's because I think Italy is one of the few countries where C and H are pronounced like K. It's,
Right.
Yeah, and yeah. So I'm based in Italy. I'm graduated industrial designer.
What city are you in Italy?
Sorry.
What city are you in?
Yeah, I'm in Turin. It's the northwest. Yes.
Right. Awesome.
Yeah, it's close to Milano.
Ah, okay. Yeah, we're going there this year, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. And yeah, I'm based here because when I finished my university in industrial design, I moved for like 1 year for a dual design studio. Then I started to upload seriously my artworks on ArtStation
Yeah.
when my first freelance gigs came. So then I left the studio and I came back to in Turin because I think right now it's the best city to live in Italy, except pollution, because actually we are in
Really?
top 10.
Wow.
Not in the world actually.
Wow, really? Even worse than China?
Yeah, last year we went worse than Beijing for 1 day.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, and the strange thing is that it's super green as a city.
Please don't get lung cancer, man.
No.
Yeah.
I think I'll move soon. So no.
Yeah, shit. Yeah, but are we like able to like also share his work so people
Absolutely.
because even though you're super famous and popular, we still want to show
No.
your work off,
It's not true.
Yeah, so like my logic next question would be, okay, so from what I learned now, so you studied industrial design, then you got your first job, How did you develop the need, I guess, and that aspiration to do actually all of your concepts in 3D? How did it start out? Was it in your eyes, the only way to design? How did it develop from you, and how did it go along? Because I bet that like I don't know. That's what I would like to know. Like, how did you start? Was it like you started off with 3D and just were exploring? Did you start with 2D explorations and you transitioned slowly in 3D? How was that journey for you, I guess?
Yeah, actually, I've been drawn by art and creativity since I was a child. So yeah, maybe it sounds banal, but it is actually. And when I went in high school, I was about to choose an artistic school, but then at the end I decided to go for a math and science school. But yeah, I kept drawing a lot, and when the university time came, I decided for the industrial design. But at the second year, I was loving it. I mean, I still love industrial design and product design,
Yeah.
but something happened when a friend of mine showed me Sculptris, that free software from Pixelogic. It's super easy.
Sculptures.
Yeah,
Right.
Sculptris.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I tried, something happened inside myself, when
Something happened. Nice.
yeah. And when I had spare time, I was there actually. And yeah, it was weird because university was super busy and we were doing all night late. But seriously, I think I've started to sleep very little after I discovered sculptures. So after a while, I decided to go for more info about it and more info about um, digital art in general. And then I discovered that Sculptris was not used that much in the industry, and ZBrush was the main sculpting tool.
How was Sculptry for you? And what was it, like a free software? That's why you went for it first, or how did it?
Yeah, yes, was a friend of mine just showed me like, hey man, look at this. It was a sphere and just a few tools like add,
Right.
subtract, and just it's super simplified. And was like when you play with the clay, but you have infinite ways to use it. And so yeah, after a while, like after a few months, I started to learn ZBrush, and as many know, it's super hard at the beginning.
We know,
And
yeah, it is a pain in the ass, but
yeah,
once you
but
learn it, it is a monster. So
I mean the UI it's pretty hard to understand at the beginning, but once you understand the logic, actually it's pretty good.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you go through the pain, it starts to kind of get more obvious for you, right? At this certain level.
Yeah, I mean, I do not think when I use a certain tool in ZBrush, it's like it's just an extension as for everyone.
Of
I mean, I'm
course,
not
yeah.
special. So yeah, that after the university, I graduated and I had my portfolio ready for going in at some cool studios.
So does that mean that while you were doing your while you were doing your education, you were able to work on standard industry work? So does that mean that that school really understood the potential of what the industry or of what the entertainment industry need was, or were you doing the school assignments and on top of that you were working towards an industry ready portfolio? Like,
Oh no, actually, it was independently from the school. I mean, they were
right.
not teaching us something like entertainment design, or it was pure product design course.
Yeah,
So it was just by myself.
I
So
see.
we were learning CHD softwares like Rhinoceros. We were modeling in 3D, but nothing like super detailed things. We were mostly doing products, but we also sketched a lot. The first year was almost 100% drawing skills.
Yeah.
So the basics, lines, cylinders, circles.
Yeah. So yeah, well, that gives like I guess that is like they understood the value of knowing the fundamentals. It is just so interesting to see how you develop that. So that means like it takes someone to be really passionate and disciplined, right? Like you did your education and along the side you were really working hard as well to have your portfolio ready. So yeah, that means that your amount of discipline, ambition is undisputed, and that's I guess beautiful to see. I'm scrolling through your work here. Is well, not only the presentation is well really fucking top tier, but also versatile as well, right, Derek?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to add actually. Like Andre shows that like you can tackle on characters. I know that he did some environments. He does some props, weapons, everything, which is actually making you a more, not only more versatile but just more valuable artist on the market, in our industry, like having a little bit more than what you like doing or what you are known from, and expanding your subject matter that you are presenting your portfolio is only making you in a better position from the beginning. And I know that you also test out and try a lot of software, so we might actually jump into this topic but later during the stream, since I think you would have something to show to our viewers today. But yeah, I totally agree that versatility and the subject range that you are taking up to is really diverse. It's really good. It's the broad subject range, and broad even like techniques wise. So
thank you so much. Yeah, I think that's the best thing I've learned in the university, how to design in general, you know? And
design
it's
philosophy
not
on its own. Yeah, that is what we focus on at Focal Point too. Yeah, that's why it's like such a great thing that we are having you on board for the workshops too, man. Really, we're really happy, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's something like it's something different. Actually, it's of course design class, but we really wanted to have like the guy who can actually sculpt and showcase the power of Zbrush or new techniques like VR, and I think that's gonna be like incredible like journey. So for everyone who is going to attend, or for those who are still wondering, it's like a must. Like this guy is gonna show you more than you actually can imagine.
Over deliverance.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my main goal actually is still try to understand what really at first makes me happy, because I've tried many things: environment, characters, creatures, and many of you, and even myself, I'm sometimes asking myself, what if I've during these years I not only spent time on something else but focused on creatures? Would my level in creatures be better? Or I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure I'm explaining it well, because it confused in my mind as well, because it's they are just the thoughts you have. And yeah, so what if I had spent all my time focused on creatures?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah, I will be better right now in creatures, but that's not my goal. It's not my goal to show people or to show client I can be a rock star in something. And my main goal is just to explore and to be able one day, and I hope will be soon, to feel comfortable with every kind of idea the client wants.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
so
that's such an important trait, man. I mean, that that is like very hard to reach as well. That's actually something what we are also trying, you know, be as versatile as possible.
Yeah.
And that what you just said is like really important. Of course, like there are like a lot of individual designers that like focus on one thing, but once you also, like you said, start exploring, you widen up your horizon so much that, for example, even if you have a favorite topic, when you jump back to that favorite topic, you will be enriched and inspired by all the other topics that you have been exploring,
yeah,
which in return can fuel your main niche thing that you specialize in. So,
yeah,
yeah, I like scrolling through your portfolio, man. We've seen creatures. Now I see some serious hardware prop design. It is obviously all top tier looking as well, which is pretty. It stands out, you know, like that ability. It stands out that you are able to do a lot of like Derek said. The subject matter is just very wide. Yeah. So yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm so bored by my portfolio, actually, the online portfolio, but at the moment I don't care because.
You're so hard on yourself, man.
Sorry.
You're so hard on yourself, man.
Yeah, but I mean, it's pretty old. Almost everything it's pretty old. I've been posting something lately was like sketchy things, and actually it's almost what the clients ask to me. I often work just for a couple days on something, then boom, another thing, then another thing, then another thing. So I had to develop skills in sketching and to present ideas.
Yeah.
I'm mostly in pre-production and early ideas, so I'm not that guy that the client calls when something has to be finished, you know, and that's great from a side, and the other side, it's pretty hard because if if years ago my goal was to stay like days on a concept, on a piece, and push art on details and you know, put higher the level bar. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're
Okay.
listening, man.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And yeah, right now I feel a bit bad because I have no time to stay 1 week on my own creature. And that's why I think I will not update my portfolio till I will have something really special to show. Because as we were talking with Derek a few days ago, publishing and sharing and updating your portfolio means more exposure. More exposure means actually more work. So what if I want to have more time to do something special that I would like to do, but I keep posting on our station and clients maybe keep calling me, you know?
Yeah.
So you are basically afraid that you'll get too much work at some point, right?
Yeah, I mean it's not too much because luckily I'm in that position right now, as many of you and of many of artists freelancing. You can choose, right?
Yeah.
And you can choose your
Yeah.
timing. You can choose your projects, but of course we need some rest. Of course we need vacations. Of course we need everything else. And yeah, right now I have my favorite clients that I kept in my client list.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not looking for actually. I'm not cutting my legs by myself, but I'm not aiming for huge projects right now. You know,
It's very good. I guess, you know, balance is important in the end. you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, if it's coming something, and I can think about it, maybe I can move personal stuff because that project will be much more interesting than my personal stuff, or maybe clients just wants me to push my skills.
yeah.
So yeah, let's see. But right now I'm doing great actually. I'm pretty happy. So yeah.
So you've been freelancing mostly, right?
Yes.
What if there is like a chance or opportunity that opens to you, and like let's say the client wants to have you on site? Would you consider taking this, or you just prefer to just ship everything remotely?
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about this, and the past years I had a few cool interviews and proposals to move in on-site studios. I've done a few art tests, or they asked me to do art tests, but I was really focused on freelancing because I had the chance to meet many different art directors, people, colleagues, and amazing artists. Yeah, we were not together in the same room, but I've changed so many different projects and clients that I think I did right to say no. But now time has come to maybe do a change. And since I've never done on-site experience in a big studio,
Right.
and since I will probably move in London early next year,
Oh,
I think yeah, I think I will not freelancing. I mean, London is full of really cool studios, so why not? Maybe that's the best time to experience it.
well,
So
you are just like going to London, or are you, or is there like an offer that you're going for that job, or are you just like going to London?
yeah, yeah, I had a few ones in the past months, but nothing is sure.
Uh huh.
And the studio I'm aiming for, they didn't contact me yet. They haven't
What is
contacted
the studio we're aiming for?
yet. Secret.
All right, we respect
No,
that.
no, no. There are a few ones,
Professionalism.
but I'm no, I'm building the. That's why I also need more time for myself. I want to build up specific portfolio,
Mm-hmm.
and before saying it's not for keeping it secret, but I prefer to not tell you right now what's
And
my
that's
goal.
fine. That's fine. You
Yeah,
can tell us
yeah,
after the stream. Don't worry.
yeah.
Yeah, man,
Yeah,
don't worry,
and
man.
yeah.
It's all good.
Let's see. Let's
Yeah.
see. I mean, I think every studio in London, big studio, will be cool. But yeah, I will definitely try that one.
London is a nice place. I spent some time myself
Yeah.
there. I mean, London area, like 2+ years almost. Yeah.
Ah,
So do I.
Yeah. Derek as well. Cambridge, Sony, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, definitely. Like going to London for me was definitely a very good learning experience of how to work closely together in studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like how to learn
Yeah.
the real pipeline.
My biggest in-house experience was the UK.
Yeah. Yeah.
uh-huh.
Yeah, met great people there, great times. But as all good times end, and we had to escalate. But
Yeah,
yeah,
'cause
Andrea, that's yeah. Thanks for. By the way, guys, please post questions. By the way, for those of you guys don't know, Andrea is not only our guest today, but he is as part of this fall spring terms arsenal. So he'll be doing a ZBrush workshop, and you can tell by his designs that I think he's not only mastering the tool, but his design philosophy, design language, and how he thinks of design is on point. That's why it was like he was one of our on the first list to actually do something with Andrea, right?
Yes.
And you know him, of course. I met you too. I think
yeah.
we met twice, man. One time in 2015 Croatia, and then 2017 again. No,
No, I think just to yeah, 2017.
just 2017.
'Cause- yeah,
I
yeah.
must have been dreaming.
Yeah, maybe we met somewhere else. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Secret meetings.
Secret meeting.
That's a secret, yeah. But what I'm also curious about is, since all of your presentation in your portfolio, like we've been like skimming through, it's all obviously beautifully rendered and like it's so crisp,
Nicely
and
crafted.
that your organic creatures are so organic, let's say, and then your hardware design is again as if someone else was doing it. So you are able to really adapt your style, your design language. But how does your, let's say, your design process looks like roughly, for like people out there who are curious to see these like kind of slick images? Do you just open up Zbrush and start sculpting? Do you sketch something out in 2D? Because I've seen also I think I've seen some sketches from you. Like,
Yeah.
this is awesome as well. Like this like tells you that his value structure composition is on point as well. So let's say like you are designing a creature like that. What is roughly the process, let's say?
Wait, because I'm watching the YouTube, so I'm waiting for, it's a bit laggy. Okay. That you mean the school, right? No.
Wait, I'm gonna share my screen to you.
Yeah, because in Skype I cannot see your screen anymore.
Yeah, wait.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be too much screen sharing, but we can try.
Okay. Yeah, please show me which one.
Yeah, it should work right now. So you were asking about this one, right? I think it would be great also if you can actually guide us through this sort of like, this sort of work as Mikkel asked you, because it's something that I think you might show us during the 3-day workshops at Focal Point, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, how it's done? Like, just go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it depends actually, my design process,
Cool.
but mostly starts from pencil or pen drawing just for myself.
Yeah.
And actually, that one I remember when I was thinking about the first stages of that creature, because I was kind of in our art block, because was my first client actually, my real client, and he called me and he asked me to design lion-like, big cat-like creature, and was not that easy. And so I went for a walk, and I put my headphones and super high volume music, and I kept walking, and I was closing my eyes and thinking, what can I do? And then I started to think, what if I put some moody and music and try to be inside that concept? And I had a notebook, so I was writing the ideas, nothing super visualized, but the ideas, So the design.
So you write down your ideas somehow?
Yes, with a really rough sketch. So in this case was 2 jaws. So this creature was supposed to be a big cat that was biting and cutting arms and legs.
Wow.
And to keep biting, it has 2 jaws. So the one behind, it's used to keep inside the mouth the piece of the arm, but it's still able to attack.
Because it has more. So inside his main jaw, there is another jaw going on. You say?
No, it's because it's super long, the jaw. You see, and it's able to.
It goes like.
Okay, so it can have like it can just progressively chew it, right? Or like.
Yeah.
Swallow.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's cool. Idea.
Yeah. So I went for 2D sketches in pencil sketch. I sent them the sketch with maybe a few gray with Photoshop on it, just for a few volume shading. And when they approved the one among the 3 or 5 ideas, I don't remember, I opened Zbrush, and once the concept was okay, everything was clear. Was just do
Right.
it and do it and do it and do it till was ready.
Mhm.
But actually, that was just one approach of the many I have. Sometimes I want to just go in ZBrush and explore, because I love to.
And see what happens, right?
Yeah, exactly. I love mistakes. I love random. I love experimenting.
That's great
and
to hear. Like, you know, we don't like often actually hear when people say that they like mistakes. They like doing mistakes. We can do stuff by trial and things, you know, like just, you know, test out how the things are going. But I like the honesty that, you know, you are open about it, you know, you are not
yeah,
afraid.
of
You are not
course.
afraid to fail
Yeah.
because this failure might lead you to something unexpected and amazing, right?
Yeah, it's a weapon actually, and of course, you need to understand how to use a mistake. Otherwise, will stay a mistake.
Exactly. Otherwise, you just fuck it up.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
How to get away with that, but also how to, you know, play it cool, right? So it's part of the process.
yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah. Just to be like clear on this one. So this one has been client work, right? This stalker creature.
Yes,
So
was the first. Yeah.
yeah. Sorry.
Now, yes, was the first client job. This is the job that made me
Famous.
do no no do the choice to leave my studio where I was working,
Yeah.
the Jewels design studio, and because they liked so much the first three creatures I've delivered, that they called me and told me, listen, if you want, you can leave your job right now, because we have at least 6 months of stuff to give you.
Wow.
So yeah, I thought like 2 seconds, and yes, hell yeah.
Bum.
Sounds like a deal,
Yes.
like a good deal.
Damn good deal.
Yeah. And
Yes.
I think so far it's been my favorite work. The Nick was my art director and also the CEO of the company.
Right.
I think he's the best art director I've ever had. I mean, he was so kind and so helpful. He was like it was the dream job, you know, where the art director tells you to just follow your art sensibility, and they really trust you. Actually, I was nobody. I mean, my portfolio was full of sketchy things and nothing really professional.
Well, but that's the job of the art director to see like the potential in you, and I'm sure that he saw that in you. So
Yeah, and I was so happy. And so from the creatures, we went to buildings, then props, then
wow.
weapons, and then we did the exoskeleton. And I was lucky enough that they, after a few months, opened a blog on the website where they started to post my images. So I was lucky, because if not of that, right now I was not able to show them, because the game it's not yet released.
Yeah.
So
See. But it's not cancelled. It's still in development.
yes, I've
Right.
worked with them. I worked with them a few months ago for something new, and it was crazy good, because
Nice.
that guy called me again, and we were super happy to work again on something. And yeah, I mean, I'm yeah,
So
I loved it.
this company, like, is it like you had to just also be with them on site, or because you said that they found you and you know you had this sort of like first job that kind of entered you into the industry, but did it happen also that you had to go on site for them, or how
No,
the studio is like being structured is like getting bigger right now, because you said they have like a new project coming in, so you might, you know, kind of see that not only you as an artist, but also them as a company grow, right? With
Yeah,
time.
actually, he was guy coming from. He was a producer on a big studio, and he left and he founded, I think, with one or two friends, that company from
I
scratch.
see.
And they called me for this game. It's not a new one. I don't know if they are developing something else as well, but I think they are just a few, and they called a lot of freelancer. So yeah, they never called me there, and I never went there. They are based on San Francisco, or yeah, Penguin.
I see.
And so, but I mean, it was enough having calls and as it was actually.
Yeah, I think like more and more studios are like agreeing on doing remote work as well. So that's
Yeah,
what I
it's
noticed.
changing. Like it's changing. Like
Like it is getting harder and harder to like if like there is a studio out there and they like really want like to because that's what they want, like they want like the best possible concept artist and they want you to move all the fucking way over to them, you know. I mean, of course,
and
in a perfect world.
the reality of today's market is actually more and more people are becoming freelancers, and of course it might come more with like a personal choices but or personality, like for me in my opinion or in my experience, I liked trying in-house to, as Mikhail mentioned before, learn how the professional proper production pipeline look like, how to manage people inside of the studio, whether it's good or not. You might all witness that.
You might also like it very much and stay, you know?
Yes, but for instance, what I was this sort of person that I prefer to be on my own, but I still believe, even though you plan on like just doing the freelance career, or you feel like you are this sort of person that prefer to be on your own and be on your kind of lord of your own time, actually learning or touching or understanding the pipeline is a crucial thing, and by that I mean you have to actually be on site for at least a couple months or
Yeah.
a year to understand the studio, so on the later note you might do something that's kind of connected with like freelance, that most of the time that you do freelance, and they might use you as a consultant, that you have to come to their or arrive to their office once or twice a month, or once in a month, just to consult things and kind of be on site to do a brainstorm on of the whole concept phase or concept workload that was being made, right? So I guess this is really important to kind of get this sort of feeling or touch upon, like being in-house.
Yeah.
But if you prefer to be later on, if you prefer to have a career of freelancer, that's fortunately like changing right now, and more studios are being open for that, and a lot of stuff actually today is being shipped abroad or being outsourced. So the crucial maybe parts, or like the heads of the studios are of course being on site, but a lot of design work is being actually shipped and outsourced.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried once or a couple of times, but the best, yeah, I think the best one was when the Mill in London called me for a week or so on site, and because the art directors from San Francisco, no, from Chicago, came in London, and we all went for brainstorming, and I mean, I was super happy to be there in the same table and to discuss about from the beginning, from the embryonal phases of the project. And I stayed there for 1 week or so, and then I continued for 1 month and a half from home. and that was a super solid base that we did all together. That remote was much easier. You know, you have met in person that person, so maybe you can understand better and so on, many different things.
Yeah.
But yeah, never experienced something like months, and I was looking for actually, but never happened that the client asked me to go there for months, because actually for what I do, they often ask me to work just a couple days on something, then something else, or maybe something super doable from remote. So
Yeah, that's great. That's great if like, because in my experience, like most of the time, like they like clients reach out, but the first question is, can I come there? You know,
Yeah.
and move oceans and go.
And you
to the
actually
other
been
side.
to many studios, right?
And I did, and now I'm like, okay, now I'm going to freelance, set up the school as well, so now I really can't move, you know. So yeah, I mean, yeah, thanks for sharing that as well, Andre. And I like the phrase that you used, the embryonal stages, the beginning stages. That's nice. Yeah, we concept artists are usually
It's
necessary.
resonates through his works as well.
Yeah, these embryo-like alien creatures like this
yeah.
one. I can see this being like a larv alien thing that like goes through a metamorphosis and like changes into something even more dangerous. Yeah, fucking great.
I think.
Anyway, shall we go through the questions?
Yeah, I think we should. There are some. So maybe let's start with something that's related to your class. Of course, we're gonna say it again. Andrea will be during the spring term in Poland. He will be doing 3 days workshops on Zbrush and 3D concept design at Focal Point. And there's a question from I believe one of our current students, Maya Squar. How much of the workshops will be practical? She means student work, and how much observing. So from the inside of the class. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about the structure that we kind of roughly already established
and that the students can expect.
Yeah, I mean, I've structured the workshop as I've done many times here in Italy. So I'm after years of experience on doing workshops. I've found that demoing is important, but experiments from students are more important. So it's gonna be a balance, but mostly you are going to experiment after my demos, and I will be among you. I mean, I will be behind you, and I will suggest you how to fix maybe that mistake. But I will also teaching how to avoid common mistakes, how to to do the creative workflows, how to choose one instead of the other one. So yeah, will be of course demos, but will be of course you experimenting those techniques.
Right. Nice.
So yeah, I love when things are active, not passive. So I really want the students keep the attention and alive and super creative, because we all know that the speaker or the teacher maybe is the best speaker in the town, but after a while your attention and your concentration is gonna go somewhere else, you know. So,
yeah, I totally agree on that, since we are on the both side, and I guess we also noticed what's happening inside of our classes. And when the students are kind of oblique to be active, and we can walk around and give them the feedback, it actually gives them much more confidence in their work, and the progression is much faster than just observing what we are doing. Because it's like, okay, we can show them, we can explain things, but it has to be somehow balanced out, so they could actually practically also try those things that we are showing, and then we can just kind of pointing them out towards how to fix it, or how to make it better or functional, or
Yeah.
just in general much more intact with what we are teaching.
Yeah, I think it is, as an instructor, I think, and we can all agree on that, is that, you know, we started all this operation from the need that it was kind of lacking in Europe. And what is the best thing is that we can really immerse ourselves how to be a young individual that wants to know more about concept design, and not only with the together with the fundamentals, but also along with what is trendy and nice and industry demanding, how to get there, how to tackle all these obstacles. Yeah, we really want to provide it, because I actually feel how it is to be frustrated to do everything on your own with a lack of resources. So
Yeah.
it's a very good thing. So I guess as another question for you, Andrea, I think we briefly talked about it. So there was another question about how to break into the industry. I mean, the top more well-known companies, is it better to focus on one subject to the generalist or marketing aspect? So we really answered that question multiple times on the other art talk, so please, I invite you guys to check that out as well. We might go back to that question, but first priority is to the other question is the workshop aiming towards character creature designers? So yeah, Andrea.
Yeah. I mean, I thought the best thing to do and to practice, it's the human figure as a base, because we all maybe do the mistakes at the beginning to screw up anatomies and to destroy things and justify them that in that way, like, yeah, it's alien, so I imagine that like this. So you after you try to teach that you should still keep anatomy knowledge, it's hard to make understand that it's not working. I'm not sure I'm explaining.
Yeah, I think what you're saying before you jump into you can correct me if I'm wrong, if we are wrong.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to say before you jump into crazy designs, you want to establish what it is to have a solid foundation and understanding of the human anatomy and how it is in real life before you make.
Yeah.
And we are so sorry about the ghetto sounds. There's some police going on here, so I don't know if it's picking up, but there are some sirens going on here.
That's fine. Yeah, I try again to explain what I mean. That doing like those alien insects I do, okay, it's really hard to lose the focus and to create something really bad looking, because I'm trying to emulate anyway some of the anatomy knowledge I have. It's not completely random. It's not completely unnatural. It's that good balance from between what it's real for existing for real and what is not. So to answer to the question is, yes, we are going to do something based on a human but alienish looking. So we will focus on keep the anatomy looking great but with some unique design. And yeah, we'll be working on work on something like Star Wars character, like alienish character, so we can have fun. But of course, I'm open to any suggestion or request from students during the course. I mean, we will not change the topic, but of course, people will be free enough to do its own design, but staying inside the topic limits.
Yeah. No, I mean,
sorry.
you in the end have to.
I've used thousands of words to say something that maybe in 20 words was better.
No, it's good, man. Come on. Yeah. Don't worry about it. I'm also I myself think that I'm also a chaotic talker, and and people are coming back. So I guess they're getting used to, the artistic, chaotic talking stuff
Yeah.
that we always do. Yeah, so maybe like a question from me, which I was expecting to receive in the chat, but since nobody is asking that, I'll just ask it. Will you also cover, the complex interface of ZBrush and teach students how to navigate efficiently to come up with an anatomy figure in the first place? I think like
Yeah. Yeah, of course. I mean,
so the workshop
now,
is aimed for also students that never touch ZBrush in their life.
yeah, possibly, yes, of course. Because I've been doing a quick but solid intro to the ZBrush UI. So we'll be doing like a UI overview, avoiding all those things you don't need for concept art and 3D concept design, because people get lost, And if you don't know where to find those tools, you go in panic. You go panic.
Yeah.
And the fact it's in ZBrush for doing something really cool, you just need a few tools. You should actually start from a sphere or start from a human base and use seriously like 4 or 5 tools. And it's so easy to get lost again. So yeah, we will be. I'll be covering the essentials, how to avoid mistakes, and yeah. So of course we will just have fun, and we will learn something new. And for people that already know the UI, or they are almost or even advanced in ZBrush, will have fun as well, because it will be structured like we are going to learn the UI during demo. So you will be learning something in design as well, and in workflow as well. So
it will be practical learning.
yes, exactly. The thing I've learned in the university from teachers were to not waste time on things that you don't use. I mean, you can do it by yourself if you want, but the basics are the important things, and practice will teach you after the basics and the fundamentals.
Very good point.
So Andrea is asking if anyone who doesn't know painting, anatomy, or ZBrush can still attend the class. I think the answer is of course yes. If Andrea is saying
Yeah.
he goes for the basics of the software, we're gonna cover design principles as we also do in other classes, and all the important aspects of ZBrush that are important to make things in a sculpting tool. I think of course it's more than must. Like I will
Yeah.
be attending myself because I want to learn ZBrush and want to polish, shape up my knowledge on this software. And I think like Andrea is the best person that I know that can teach me that, right? So
Thanks.
of course.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to be Michelangelo or Bernini to sculpt something humanoid. You have to give a suggestion, like you do actually, Darek and Michael, with paintings or sketching. You're not going to do every single detail, right?
Yeah.
But you have to give the impression of something and give the idea.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can go further with details, but
to estimate or establish certain design or look, but don't go into
like,
in depth like engineering, right?
Yeah, I've been painting a lot lately, and I see similarities. Like if you do focal point part of the sculpt, the rest can be left loose.
Right?
I mean, yeah, and that's important when you deliver something to the client that doesn't need 100% details. So yeah.
So maybe
I can share the screen actually.
yeah, actually I wanted to ask about it. If we maybe go for your screen right now, could you share it, and then I'm gonna show it to our viewers. In the meantime, please go ahead and ask questions. Let me check. We are. How much time we are in? 1 hour and a half.
Yeah.
No,
So
just 1 hour, I think.
I'm gonna share the screen and I'm gonna show you something I've started in
Oh,
2016 as a demo. Okay.
yeah, go for
And
it, man.
yeah,
Awesome.
and so I can show you how loose is the 3D and how impactful can be in Keyshot and in the rendering. So
Okay,
okay.
let's share the screen. I'm gonna show it to this to the you our viewers. Okay, you can see them right now.
I think we see it, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's still pretty detailed in my opinion.
Can you see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not that perfect model, but as you can see, it's super sketchy. I mean, look at this. It's super sketched, you know? It's not detailed. Everything is looking super organic, but not looking that good actually, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not perfect.
Well,
I
it,
would
it
change.
looks to be honest, man. It really looks defined, actually. Like as a concept, it works. Like okay, like you know the thing that is around her neck. Uh, you
Uh-huh.
know you can always apply more detail on it, I guess.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah, I love the
yeah,
cloth
but
as well. Damn.
I would change many things now because I mean, 3 years after I've cut this,
Mm-hmm.
but actually I've put like 1 hour and a half on detailing a bit more the face,
Mm-hmm.
and today, and I went in Keyshot
Show
and
that beautiful render that we
yeah,
are discussing.
and actually, what you need. Let me find the cameras.
And also, if you can kind of roughly tell us the story about it.
Yeah, I mean, this concept is something that I would like to put in something bigger, like keyframes or something like a short project with multiple images.
Mm-hmm.
Because basically, this poor woman is an alien queen, and the alien king is using her just as a tool for creating babies, baby kings,
Right.
and it's super elegant, but it's not something good for her because this is a chastity belt, but it's a chastity body, so she cannot turn the neck, she cannot move, and
Yeah, I can see.
this,
Yeah, that's an
yeah,
interesting concept. Did you come like on that on your own? That kind of story?
yeah,
Is it
yeah,
part
yeah,
of a universe that you're
yeah,
developing?
yeah, it's mine, yeah,
Nice.
and
Wow.
and of course those are chains, so it's hidden because the king wants to show the mother of the baby king, so of the prince, as a beautiful woman, but actually she's on cage, right?
Yeah.
But and one concept I would like to do is um, she being showed to the huge crowd of people, and the king is touching the belly, right?
Right.
And maybe do close-ups to the face. Actually, I have a few ones saved.
Uh-huh.
Here. Yeah, as you can see, let me know if it's too small. I can zoom. Yeah,
I
yeah,
think we can
that
see
was
it pretty well. I love the
yeah.
cloth work, by the way. It's really cool.
This is the concept I've sketched over, painted,
I see.
and then this is from today. I was like doing part of the scene. Maybe the king will be, I don't know, here. This is the same model actually. So you can see how loose, but how many details you can have on a
Yeah,
It's
shot.
really well defined,
with
man.
the proper lighting, you can really make
Exactly.
specific
Yeah.
materials or displacements being more bumped up, and it actually gives you like a feeling of a lot of details. And I love those like rough and raw and very noisy renders. It looks very like we've been discussing before, very cinematic, very good.
Yeah, because actually, if someone now is looking at the model, looks like weird in colors, right? But as I'm doing this for many, many, many years, I know how Keyshot changes the ZBrush input.
Ah,
So yeah, I'm always put more exaggerating colors. Cause when I go back in Keyshot, it's gonna change using the material nodes and everything. Um, I know how to exploit them. You know.
Yeah.
because Keyshot basically tones down the saturation of colors, you mean?
It depends, but I usually exaggerate in ZBrush and then I put them down in Keyshot. I show you actually.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you see, I add a color adjust,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and so you can easily change the hue or saturation or value contrast.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
Is there any like because we see those like we are really used. I'm really used to see like all of these sleek renders from you. All of your renders being always exported from the ZBrush viewport into Keyshot, and do you do any post processing in Photoshop? Basically,
Yeah.
is your presentational phase a long process, or is it like you just render it in Keyshot, make a screenshot, done? Or
No. Actually, for client job, I usually stop doing 3D at 50-60% of the job.
wow,
So does
Then
it mean that you still have like you feel like you have more control over the stuff in Photoshop, or how does it how is it how it is?
it depends, because actually I became really fast in ZBrush
Mm-hmm.
for what I was at the beginning, and now I plan everything actually before I do something. And let's say I have to do this character. Of course, in this case, if you have to do some beauty shot of the face and something of and multiple angles, you of course better do the 3D and do some. I mean, if you have time, because sometimes you have to just present some really early thing. So you go for the head sculpt, and you can use photos over it. So the wrinkles and subsurface,
I see.
or sometimes I just
Like
go
a
for
pixel fucking, like I did with Witcher cover. I remember I got like pretty detailed model from them, but still all the face details, like skin textures, tones, and wrinkles had to be kind of bashed in 2D, which is kind of cool, but at the same time it's very very like long process of like implementing things, so it looks very unified.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
You.
in this case, the eyes are not looking great, but I don't care. I mean, if this was a client job, that will I mean was perfect to just do the render, maybe high resolution, and then overpaint, because I don't want to spend too much time in 3D. I'm not that 3D guy
Uh
that
huh.
have time to spend and texture and do UVs. I never do UVs. I never do retopo. I never do anything that could slow down the
Your yeah.
process with nothing more. It's not a plus to me. Client will never ask me because I'm not the 3D guy. If
Yeah.
someone is if some client is asking me something like 3D techniques and retopo, I think they have never seen my portfolio online, because I have no image showing 3D skills. I mean, I tried. Of course, I know how to do UVs because I tried, but it's definitely out of my workflow for client job,
I see.
100%. And that's what it's fast from 3D. You
Yeah.
just, I mean, I don't care if that nose it's not perfect with topology and inside it's everything stretched. Nobody will ever see.
It looks good, man. It looks good. And again, like what you're saying is proof that it's design first, and then of course, you know, we are aware that 3D is like almost a must in the industry. But guys, I can guarantee you, if you know, even if Andrea Chiampo, am I saying it good now?
Well,
Would
that's fine. Chiampo.
Or Chiampo? Sorry, man.
Yeah.
Fuck, I like butchering your
No,
name
no.
all the time.
Even Italians are telling
Yeah.
wrong. 'Cause my
Michael,
teachers were
stop.
all saying
Shut up, Derek.
Champo, Champo,
Yeah.
Campo. No, nobody wants to to remember. my
Andrea is the best.
That's fine.
It's
Yes,
Yeah.
but that's
But-
fine, man. Well, since I was a kid, never say it the right way. So
Same
that's
here,
fine.
man. Everybody
Yeah,
calls
sorry.
me Michael, so you know
Yeah.
I know how it feels. Yeah. Anyway, it
Sorry, I
is-
interrupted you. Yeah.
No. I think like we're interrupting each other, but I'm so eager to talk and you know share, you know, just give a glimpse of what is, you know, awaiting on the upcoming term as well, you know. And yeah, it's a nice casual talk as well. Anyway, like what I wanted to say is actually, and I think that you can agree. If not, let me know. But guys, like if Andreas, you know, design knowledge and philosophy was not on point, even if he mastered the tools in Zbrush, he would not be able to, you know, come up what he's coming up with. So that is what we focus on: proper design philosophy and using the tools necessary to come up with these accurate concepts. And yeah, like he said on his own, he's not a 3D artist. He uses it to his optimal degree to show his ideas in his way, in his accurate way, so to speak.
Yeah, and something I would like to say, especially in Italy, a lot of people is considering artists who are using like basis or 3D or photos for Photobash as cheaters. They are doing wrong. No, seriously, this is something that
Man,
makes me
that sounds so
sad.
that sounds so familiar. That's why we are laughing.
Yeah,
Because it's
I would like to talk about this because it's many people I've heard many persons like telling me and other artists
let them
that,
hate. Let
yeah,
them hate,
because
man.
we are using 3D human base as a start. We are not sculptors. We are not that good. Blah 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 blah. I mean, if I
Nice.
if
I like the
stay
Italian
like,
spirit, man. Come on, bring it on, bring it on.
no, if I stay like 1 month on something, of course I can maybe sculpt the perfect face with the wrinkle, but I don't need. I use alphas, you know.
Yeah.
You use shortcuts because of course you need them to stay on the crest
On
of
time,
the wave.
being relevant,
Yeah, of
and
course.
being fast. You know,
So
efficient.
it's I don't care of those guys, but it's for students and for upcoming artists. Don't listen to those guys and go for shortcuts.
Ben, but one thing that I need to interrupt you is like,
Yeah.
if you have a haters, it means that you are doing something right. So
Yeah,
that
yeah, of course,
sums
but
up everything, you know. Like let them hate, let them burn, let them, you know, just be on their own. Like I prefer to waste my energy on doing art rather than just, you know,
Yeah, but
fucking hating on something.
yeah,
Let
it's
the
it's
angels
giving
flow.
force and power, you know. But it was not actually for pointing out and to. It was not like a revenge against those people. It was just really to know, especially
Yeah,
for
they're
my,
actually shooting into their own foot, basically, into their own feet. So
yeah, of course. But I mean, but the other important thing is to, of course, know how to do things. So don't just take 3D human base and use the move brush and okay, that's done. That's an alien. No, it's not that.
Yeah,
Grow
no,
your visual design library. Grow your I don't know, your knowledge with documentaries, with your and many tries. With I mean, go and experiment. But the thing I think it's important is to start with 3D human base, so you can watch in 3 dimensions what's a 3D model, experiment, then try to replicate from a sphere. For if you are at the very beginning, try to recreate from scratch, from zero, those shapes. But once you are able to do them, why the hell you should do them from scratch if you have something
man.
that you
I
can
couldn't agree more.
it's
can
like, you know, you have a paint or a pencil. Are you
Yeah.
making your pencil up yourself before you even use it? You know, like
I guess you're a cheater.
yeah.
If you
Yeah.
buy a Wacom from the company Wacom, I think you should make your own one. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Use the rocks to
B
carve.
for everything, B for nothing. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, this industry demands us to have like fast turnarounds.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So if you make a design, for example, when I design something based on a military vehicle, I can draw already on top of that or design on top of that.
yeah.
And of course, I feel also, and I'm sure you have it too. If you have like, if you're designing a creature that has a totally different form factor from anything else that is on this planet, which is actually hard to find. Think of, and like if I go through your portfolio, we can always link it to some kind of creature. But of course, it is the degree of creativism will dictate how much you'll have to change it, and sometimes it of course requires you to go totally from scratch, and a good designer is able to do that, of course. But if you already have a humanoid creature to design, like this alien woman that basically has a head like a human, shoulders, arms, then yeah, just start with a human base, of course. You know, the end result matters for the client. And if all those, you know, haters that are fueled with hate and like, you know, pointing fingers at that you're not a real artist, yeah, fuck that. You're not a real artist. You're a concept artist. You're not a fine artist. You're just selling ideas. So let them hate, you know. That's alright.
So what's the juice that we are looking at right now? Just tell us
Yeah,
about it.
I wanted to show you something I'm working on, and those are mainly images I've already shared in Instagram. Actually, it's not published our station page. So, but it's mostly images I've been doing in the beta of Zbrush, but now I'm developing kind of, it's not absolutely an IP, but it's something that I'm thinking about I love this world. I kind of start to live inside, you know. And I was trying out those new NPR filters, and I fell in love with a few settings I was using. Like I started to use super noisy filter, then I changed it and I put a texture, then I tried lines, blah blah blah. And the cool thing is that I had a huge influence while I was working in an Alien franchise miniseries.
Awesome, you did?
Yes, actually, it's
Beast.
the Alien Isolation miniseries. The web didn't like it, and actually, I'm not a huge fan of what they did actually with the plot and with everything. And we at the beginning was really different. I'm not sure I cannot talk properly about it, but I know that I can say this, that we used to have a huge influence and reference with Gustave Doré. It's this guy here. And yeah, it was last year, and we started to clearly do references.
I can tell, yeah. It has
Compositions and
definitively,
everything. Yeah.
definitely the same style and execution. That noisy black and white thing really has something to it.
It looks like a very traditional, you know, drawing on paper, old paper, worn out. And actually, I think you mentioned that some of the drawings and paint that he made, you guys used for the compositions, right?
Yeah, exactly. We used as a composition base, and a lot of them were super cool. And
ended up not being in the actual miniseries, right?
no, there's something changed, but as you know, always happens that you in the pre-visualization or
Yeah. Creative process changes a lot.
Yeah,
Sometimes
and
on worse,
that's
sometimes
fine.
on better. So
Yes. Yeah.
So
But,
is
yeah,
that
the
so? That
final
first image that we saw, that we went through on that of this series, Is that like a humanoid alien character standing on a shoulder of some kind of dragon?
No, that's actually just a human, the one in the shoulder. And the other creature is like just a creature. And I was focusing on composition and creating something weird and
The lighting is very
great
interesting, by the
looking.
way. I love it.
And those actually have a few meanings. I will explain when I will share them, and I can jump on a more clear meaning
Yeah.
in.
I love this series.
Yeah.
Very very original. Like it's not
Thanks.
very often seen to just you test out the new tools, but at the same time you test out the new styles, which is even better.
Yeah, and yeah, for example, this one,
Yeah.
I wanted to give a message,
Mhm.
and the man is kind of protecting the girl, but you see the girl disappears behind the shadow of the man, and in somehow the message is that the man keeping protecting the girl is kind of making her disappear, and that way maybe let's say something dangerous is coming. The man will of course go a few steps back, and you can see the spikes,
Right.
so protecting and not let her experience and do things it's dangerous as
Is it like
maybe.
a message that danger can come from any angle, from the least expected
Yeah.
source?
It's something like sometimes you just have to let people experience and do and be free, because this girl is not free actually.
Right.
The man thinks she's protected, but she's not free. I mean,
Right.
anyway, in those I want to put something more deep, but I mean,
That's cool.
it's just for me. I mean, I think
Sick.
when I will share this image on a station, I will never explain all the story, blah blah blah. I mean, it's just
So
for
this
me.
is exclusive right
Focal
now.
point exclusive. Yeah, thank you for
Yeah.
having like your project premiere going
No,
on here.
I was
Yeah.
and
Amazing.
I have fun telling myself stories when I sketch and draw something.
Mm-hmm.
Or I love these guys here. I wanted to. I must continue the series because I have.
So what actually puts you into this mood? Like the specific music, or like we can of course see like the inspiration from Alien, for instance, but for the story that you are coming up with, still there are some fresh ideas. What kind of puts you into this specific mood of creating those? Because these are so fresh, man, so fresh.
Thanks, man. It depends actually, because sometimes I go for something I had in mind. Sometimes I just go there and start stretching polygons, and when I see something, I continue it. When it's the same thing when you look at the clouds and then you see a dragon head, and then you start imagining everything. So yes, that's the tail, and so it's more powerful, of course, because you see a cloud and then you start moving that cloud.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
love
so it's all again comes with the experimenting and not really being afraid of like
No,
just
exactly.
fucking things up to
Yeah.
in order to find like some interesting story or shapes or like material that you can expand or develop later, right?
Yeah, you have the undo. I mean, you can go. It's something like it's a video game where you die and you have infinite lives. The only limit is time. So if a client is asking for something specific, if you are able to, and if you can set a timer just for experimenting, and after that you have to take decisions. So, and I often do it. I often give me the time to explore and do something really different from what they are asking. Let's say client asks for A, okay? I will, of course, explore A, but if I have time, I, of course, go for B and C.
Yeah.
Because client will love it. I mean, it's not overworking or something, but if you do like this, they will probably call you again to fix that and to mix A with B or B with C.
Yeah, because you
So
give them more choices, right? That's
exactly.
what the concept art is about, right? Just to give just to give alternatives that we can, you know, like somehow pick up the best ideas from different iterations, not just one, because one is just, you know, kind of limiting yourself from the very beginning. I remember this one.
Yeah, you remember?
Of course.
Yeah, it's something that I don't know if I will ever
You should
finish.
definitely finish that, man.
Yeah, it's not the last version actually. The carpet was more advanced, but anyway, yeah, it was much more hard than
Looking
expected.
beautiful.
Yeah, actually was the first task that Darek gave me in the mentorship.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And I was like, this guy is doing characters, and then bam, you know, just show me this architecture.
Yeah,
it's like, holy shit.
you know what?
Versatility, man.
He's not fucking around, man. It's like it's really cool. Like I would love to see that finish, man. Definitely.
Yeah, but you know what? It's because the 3D base is maybe too much solid on this, and I ruined. You know, it was better. The screenshot from this is blended, by the way, cycles blend.
It's more of like, I would say that you kind of stuck, or you've been like too, you know, you've came to 3D with like a little bit too much respect, with being, you know, afraid of changing things. But I see like the more you change, you know, sometimes you can add like 2D ideas on top of the 3D, and then come back again to 3D if you wanna, like, you know, polish it up in the modeling, you know. So it's like there's certain like way of doing that. Either you always come back to 3D in the later node, or you just don't really get that respectful for 3D base, because this might change and this might happen, that you will have fresher ideas or better ideas while sketching on top of the 3D base, right?
Yeah, of course. I've learned so much from this piece, man, because you did well to ask us to do something hard as first. So you let me understand my limits, and after that, of course, I've improved my skills in paintings, and it's thanks to this. I mean, I understood how hard was to balance, and how hard was to stop before 3D was too much and spend too much time. So yeah, but
awesome.
Yeah, now after I mean, now it's, I think, more than 1 year, right?
Yes, it's much more than 1 year, I guess. Like the last time that I've made mentorships, it's been a while. It might come later in the year, but yeah, it's been a ride. It's been a good ride, and now we are actually waiting to be your students in class
and
awesome. Learn some Zbrush magic, right?
I can't wait, man.
Awesome.
And these are the studies that you're also sending me, right? Like Andrea just took it serious to also get back to 2D basis, and he's doing like those movie stills every day, right?
Yeah, every day. I mean, those are not the latest one, but they are just for me. Actually, you are, of course, you've already seen this, but they are not published. I never share them, but they are.
There you go, guys! Another premiere.
Yeah, I mean, it's just for me. This is for learning, and that's an important thing I want to say to someone.
Very important, not to just because in the end, you should not draw for of course, all artists love attention, but it should not be your primary goal. Like,
it's not the success or to be successful in social networks and so on. It's if you like doing art, just do it. I mean, everything will be better with practice and with
Exactly.
knowledge.
Yeah.
And when I do this and I look at those, for example, this creepy, bad-looking face, I don't care because I've learned so much that the next one will be better, of course, or
That's
maybe
the
not.
amazing
I don't
attitude.
care. Yeah, I don't
Amazing
care.
attitude.
Yeah, I love the brushwork on this one, by the way, man. Very
Thanks.
nailed, like the cloth. That's nailed. Awesome stuff.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, and that's something every day I focus on something else, something different. So let's say one day I focus on brush economy, the other day I focus on color. And by the way, to be honest and to not hide something, I color pick this because I put the limit of 30 minutes. So I'm not that good actually yet to not color pick. That's not my focus right now. My focus is to learn how to paint.
Yeah.
Color will be the next goal.
Yeah.
But right now I don't need it because right
Value
now
is more important, but of course color is, you know, the how you are able to like shift with colors later
Yeah.
on is also very important. And
Yeah.
it's something that we all cover as well in school. Jesus, yeah. But
Yeah.
these are
And
so awesome to see from you. You know, again, like you're dropping a bomb here and showing to everyone. You know, it is not the tool, because we all know you from your 3D stuff and your Zbrush sculpts. But this shows like how wide and how much knowledge you have and how you're able to execute it in a lot of variation, because you know the fundamentals, you know design, you know composition, you know, and that channels all back to, you know, all the other topics that are covered within concept art. So yeah. Are we
yeah,
gonna have questions?
I just want to clarify. This is not for showing off or to say, yeah,
Well,
I
we
can
can
do
tell
this,
because you're
it's
not
just
you're not
yeah.
publishing
I
it.
think this is showing me and my approach, and actually, it's not at all time that happy because you feel frustration because sometimes I think, oh damn, maybe I'm losing time doing 2D sketches while 3D skills should be better, blah blah blah. But I don't care. I after years, I just don't care. I just keep the ball rolling, and I keep working for clients. I keep deciding when it's time to stop. So to say no to clients and to take time to take a break and put something like daily base. And this has helped me a lot. So let's say something goes wrong with 3D or a sketch or a client, first impressions, blah, blah, blah. I do those sketches, and even if they are looking bad, I feel satisfied because I've learned something. And that's the thing that it's keeping me alive on this, you know? So let's say I'm full of client job and I cannot spend hours in ZBrush, and I want to do something mine. I just go for a 30 minutes, 1 hour sketch. So you feel free, you know?
Exactly.
Awesome. It's like a building up the backup knowledge as well. You know, like it's just so refreshing to you. Like you're just jumping off from ZBrush straight to like painting process. And yet again, it just shows that you can do that, right? You are able to, you are capable of, you know, handling all those skills that are important in both 3D and 2D media, and the tool doesn't matter in the end.
Yeah. So, something really helpful I've learned from this is time managing.
Yeah.
Management, sorry. And it's because you have 30 minutes. You at the beginning you just screw up everything and you just do something like randomly. But now I can really understand the importance of time when I have 30 minutes to do something complex. So this is really helpful because I'm applying in also 3D and Photobash and everything I do. You have to plan things and to think about move. And I was reading actually I don't remember the name. Let me find it. Yeah, it's the figure drawing by Kan Mufik. It's that book for concept artist illustration with pencil, you know? And I was reading that Yeah, think before you do a stroke with your pencil, you know, because it's important and
I
it's
think it's something that also Craig Mullins mentioned. Like he thinks about the brushstrokes and how to economize them to
mm-hmm.
become like more efficient. Because of course you can put a lot of brushstrokes, but in the end, if you kind of economize it, it will look much more cleaner, much more tidy up, and of course save you more time, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's beautiful. I really love um, the first moments when you learn something, the first piece of improvements, when
Mm-hmm.
you just feel super good when from almost zero you go for something enough satisfying, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and you are just not putting too much ambition and you see first steps.
I totally can relate to that. Yeah, that like little degree of improvement that you feel with every single sketch, with every single painting or design, is really fucking satisfying. I
Because
right?
it
It's
pushes
yeah.
it pushes you towards, right? It pushes
Yeah,
you towards, like, the ground that you might be feared of, like trying before, or you might be, lazy before even trying, and then you try that and you see, holy shit, it's so satisfying, and I want to continue that, and maybe
yeah.
focus on that even more.
Yeah, it's like addiction to something,
Yeah.
and that's why you cannot have it's like the drug actually. I've never tried heavy drugs, but I can guess how they are. I've been a huge smoker of tobacco for many years, and then I quit, and so I know what's addiction, even if it's light drug actually.
Yeah.
And I know how it feels to want more and more and more. One cigarette at the beginning, it's enough for 1 week. One cigarette, then after years, it's enough for 1 hour. After a while, you want like 2 cigarettes after the one you have smoked. So
Yeah.
you have to find something, the alternative, and something else that it's giving the same feeling of the first cigarette that was enough for 1 month, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I every day try to do something really different, so I at least feel better on that. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's clear how I'm explaining it.
Very clear. Well, I can relate to it.
Okay.
That's exactly like the feeling that I'm always chasing as well, and that is why you know what. So well, like why are we mentioning this? You know, it is because like yeah, everyone you know needs work and like love doing stuff for like big companies or for exciting projects. But I guess what Andrea is also mentioning here is that balance is also very important. Giving yourself that valuable amount of time to explore what you want to do, sharpen up your skills where you want them to be sharpened up, so you end up being, I guess, a happier person that you know that has some satisfaction that you perhaps not entirely sold your soul to always work, but work towards you know um, better, effective you know skill that you personally want to chase, and in return work will come then you know like you working constantly on a better version of yourself rather than always working for someone else. I
Yeah,
think a
exactly.
balance between those two is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
These landscapes here are, by the way, super awesome. I don't understand why you're just not showing that. I understand you're not a show offer, but yeah, this is really cool. This is really cool.
Yeah, this is something I started to talk about it because I'm showing many different things that people probably don't expect from mine, right? And
Yeah.
and I'm not publishing them because I'm afraid that maybe client will call me to do the same, but this is just mine for now. I mean, I don't feel super comfortable. I don't want to stress too much in with a job client. When a client calls me, I want that they call me for what I can actually do. Of course, I can reinvent myself in something new.
Yeah.
But if I have to choose, I choose something related to my skill set that it can be shown by my portfolio. I think my portfolio shows enough versatility, because I mean, I've tried maybe so many things that maybe it's enough clear that I'm managed to deliver something, you know.
Definitely, man. You should.
But
Yeah, definitely.
but right now I'm spending enough time, I'd say, developing those tuned shaders, and once they will be good enough for me, maybe I will start to do some keyframe pieces, maybe adding a spaceship, maybe clouds, and and complete them. Those are just experiments that I put on our station as a backup, you know. By the way, it's
So
super
these you're
useful.
made in ZBrush, right?
Yes, those are for an upcoming ZBrush brushes I'm doing a pack. They are super easy. I can show you actually how they work super quickly. And they are alienish landscape brushes, and let me show you. It's much easier. Yep. Let's go here.
So maybe you can go over this and then we can wrap up, right?
Yeah.
It's like 1.5 hour and
Any questions that we skipped, maybe, or?
someone is asking if how the discount for workshop works if there's a student taking a full intro course. We will actually
Release the info about it very soon, but there'll be definitely a huge benefit to put people who already signed up for the full terms.
Yeah. So please expect us putting the information into the group. We have, of course, a little bit of time still for the workshops with Andrea, but the intro term already starts next week. So by the time we'll post all the important info, as well as we will put a full schedule up online into our group. So please stay tuned for that.
Yeah. I'm gonna quickly show you, then
Awesome.
leave you. Yeah, right now I'm
That's like a golden knowledge, guys. Please share and spread the word about this stream. Like, we see a lot of stuff that Andrea just keeps, and actually premiered tonight. So it's amazing.
Yeah, this guy is really not I knew that he's already amazing, but now I learned that this guy is definitely not, fucking around here.
Yeah, it's not joking.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Too kind. Definitely too kind. And
well, it's just the truth, I'm not buttering you. It's the truth.
Thanks, man. All right. Let me go a bit down. Okay, so as you can see here, those are a bunch of different plates, and you can use them. I've done them from 3D alphas. You see, you can use them as a sketch brush, but that's not a powerful thing. I will show you later a good brush for this. But let's say that you can create environments with a brush. Wait, because it's double.
Symmetry is on or something?
Yeah.
Making alien environments in an alien-looking interface.
Yeah. So you see, it's a brush, and it's not has a displacement.
And it has some randomness to it too. Like every time you do it, it is like making it with variations. I can tell, huh?
Yeah, because it's rotating.
So it's the setting of the brush itself, right? But
yeah.
You said it doesn't. It's not the displacement, so it's actually like geometrical based right now.
Yes, displacement can just go in a positive way. He cannot go in a negative. And that's why these brushes for environments are really cool, because if you, of course, use displacement, they will be just a growth in a positive shape.
Yeah,
Cannot,
so just vertical upward,
exactly.
right?
Cannot go like this or this. It's impossible from displacement, right? So those are the basic shapes. But the cool thing is if you change the intensity and if you change the way they are done, you can do really helpful
So can you
noise.
actually sculpt on top of those mushrooms if you
Yeah,
just want?
yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
And
Pattern
actually,
on them, fuck.
if you do now here, it's not going to work because you have to dynamesh the mesh, and dynamesh it's just giving again a good topology, but it's one-click thing. And but that's not the cool thing. I mean, the real cool pack I'm doing, and those are just a few ones. They are not selected. Are those ones because they are more alien looking. I can show you finished images I have done with that. You see, they are super random, and you see the cool thing. It's one is englobing the other.
Oh,
Alright.
they like morph into each other.
They're
Holy shit.
melting.
You see, boom.
Nice. Very cool.
You see,
Yeah.
it's
Fuck.
creating like a canyon. Whoa.
Very cool.
Yeah.
You see,
Powerful, man.
and from that super abstract, you can have something more not destroying like this. You see, but if you go, it's impossible to have this in displacement, right? And I can do a super quick environment. So I can show you how in 5 minutes you can do something really cool. So let's say we do.
Have you tried Word Creator?
Yeah, I've tried. It's super cool.
Yeah, it's really great.
It's for a different.
I see that as a good supplement of like a base that you, for instance, make a heat map from a Word Creator and have like a displacement that you can put on like a flattened ground or flattened plane, and then add those extra geometrical structures in the ZBrush. It would be a great combo. Maybe you could try that at some point.
Yeah. Some of those are based on hand maps, and then I've modified them to have
Yeah.
a 3D looking thing. But now I show you how easy it is to really quickly do something acceptable for first explorations. So you can see here, it's super organic, and depending on, of course, the pack will be released in sections. So, let's say 5 or 6 on this style, 5 or 6 on that style,
Nice.
and yeah, if you work on this.
So now we have a student who is asking if you are also teaching 3D and environment design or just character. I guess we can just tell it's like 3D concept design and the new techniques that Andrea will actually, and workflow that he will enlighten us with, which is actually really cool as you can see right now. So I guess this is a really worth attending workshop.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, it already looks like a surface of a planet or like some dragon skin. Maybe. It's really like it's nice because it's organic, open to interpretation. You can like work from it, make into like just a couple of clicks. Because I guess based on this kind of base, you can make and sculpt on top of that base to your exact liking and design. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to have a mountain or something, you can
mask it out. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, this. Or you can even use an alpha for let me quickly do it. Let's say you're gonna mask this like this, and then we move it and scale.
Yeah, man. Giving a good taste of the magic that is about to come. Fuck.
Yeah, don't share too much.
Okay.
No, but there is one more question. I think it might be the last one.
Yep.
Is the workshop more like a lecture and then we work at home, or we do work life together? I think you somehow covered it, but in the beginning, like maybe if you can just one more time sum up the workshop, and then we can wrap it up, because I think it's too much awesomeness already.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brain is exploding. I cannot handle it anymore. Got cut off.
No. No, it will be on site actually. All you need is your, if I'm not wrong, your computer, right?
Absolutely, yeah, laptop, yeah.
Your laptop, and that's it. Yeah.
What about a ZBrush? Like, what if people don't have a ZBrush license? Is there like any trial?
Actually, I think so. I have the license for so many years, so I don't know actually how it works right now. But yeah, I will figure it out, and I will let you know how it's doable.
Fantastic.
But yes, actually, ZBrush has done something really helpful, especially for students or for people that cannot afford the full license, and they have subscription, monthly, 6 month and 1 year, I guess. And so yeah, but I will check for the trial.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you. That's awesome.
And then we can post the info on the group and focal point page.
Yeah, guys. So
yeah, I think we can stop here.
I would like to thank Andrea for doing the effort, showing us a glimpse of the software, talking us through what his journey was in the industry, where he started, where he is heading. Yeah, Andrea, thank you so much. Do you have any closing statements, man?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's thank you for inviting me.
Word.
Thank you for letting me say whatever I wanted, and to give me the time to go far somehow from the main topic. Of course, was 3D concept design, but I hope will be helpful to many people struggling maybe for in 3D. Go for 2D basics, because 3D is just a multiple view of a 2D image.
Yeah.
So it's not different actually. If you really know something, doesn't matter the tool you're using. And
exactly.
This is something that I
teach. Like when somebody asks the question, "Are you a 2D or 3D artist?" Well, you're always a 3D artist if you define yourselves as a concept artist. Even if you sketch in 2D, we always have to think in 3 dimensions to show off your ideas in space, to communicate that idea. That's why the fundamentals are so important. Will be covered in the intro classes along with the design fundamentals. Advanced classes will be covering that, plus the trendy industry demands. Me and Derek are cooking something fucking tasty, and I guess with your workshop on top of that, man, it will be like a bomb. I believe. Yeah, it's right, Derek.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah, I just show the last thing, then I leave you guys to anything else, just to show.
Explosive and over right now.
Boom.
You see, this is just and that's perfect. I mean, in 5 minutes you can have 3D like this, then you go in Keyshot or whatever it is, and you sketch over with finals. Or maybe for exploration it's enough. I mean,
beautiful.
You can play around, and I've done many of these, and I'm still testing. That's why they are not released. They are super.
So you are doing a similar way that we are doing right now. That we have some stuff that we already started for our classes, and we don't want to spoil it before it's like really tasty, I would say.
Yeah.
It's like a cooking proper cake. You don't wanna serve it on the table if that's not crazy good, right?
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Yeah. All right. From me, it will be, guys, stay away from alcohol. I mean, don't drink it too much. Stay away from drugs.
Okay, man.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, all right. I think we can stop here. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming, Andrea. Thank you for everyone who is attending our streams, and please subscribe, share the info. Of course, the more we grow, the more streams we will have. So please do that and expect awesomeness from more focal point content. And for those who are attending the school, see you soon. And for those who are still wondering, come over, guys. You will not fucking regret. Thank you.
Spring term intro 2 is full. Advanced term, still some seats open. Andrea's workshop, also some seats are still left. Just putting that information out. More information, of course, on our website. Please contact us through mail if you have any questions, right? Yeah, again, thank you so much, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea.